Shade 45 is going live from Philly.
Fly as an eagle, fresh out of Philly. Yeah, I still rep the city.
For Will Smith's based on a true story album listening playback with Sway and Heather B.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Sway in the morning, but we doing it at nighttime. I go by the name of Sway Calloway, my partner in crime, the one and only. Give it up for the billionaire herself, the icon, Heather B. All right, we're going to have a good time tonight. First of all, I need to know if Philly's in the building. Make some noise. I said, is Philly in the building? Make some noise. I'm really excited to be here. When I first came into hip hop, you know, some of my favorite people in the beginning were people like the Treacherous Three with Kumo D, Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five. Schoolie D was one of my favorite people that came out of hip hop. And when Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince came out, that right there was my high school. So since that time, that motivation and inspiration has kept me in this game. I've been able to look at some of my peers and watch them ascend to heights that no one has ever seen. When Will Smith came out, there was no blueprint to what he was doing, what Jazzy Jeff was doing. Philly is an amazing place in itself. You got 3 world supremacy DJs out of Philadelphia. You got Tap Money. No, excuse me. You got Cash Money. You got DJ Miz. And you got Jazzy Jeff. Right? And when Jeff and Will came out, they told us how we could expand the boundaries of hip-hop and we can appeal on every level across any genre. And when they were the first to win the Grammy, get that a big round of applause.
Let's go.
That just raised the bar even higher. And when he transcended into the movie business, into Hollywood, get that a big round of applause, and became the most valuable person in Hollywood. That for us gave us representation, right, Heather B?
Absolutely.
That gave us upliftment, and even the way he represented himself throughout it all was always unique. And he brought the world to Philadelphia. Heather, I was in Oakland, California.
I was in Jersey.
Okay. What was that like for y'all in Jersey?
Man, listen, let's go, Jersey. Listen. No cap, I get excited every time this time of year come around because I know summertime is about to drop. Even though the song been out, it's like our theme song I go to, and I think for all of us that grew up loving this hip-hop culture, that is our bat signal that summertime is on its way. Every, Memorial weekend, we ready to go and get it popping. So, yeah, he's just been an inspiration, like you said, in the transition from movies to television. And even, I was thinking today driving down here, Will Smith may have been the first rapper, male, to make a song about his son. I tried to go back and think about this artist and that artist, but yeah, man, just the two of us, one of my favorite songs.
Just the two of us,
for
right?
Sure.
Brand New Funk was one of my favorite songs.
Period.
And that to me was the quintessential rap song. I still play that on Shade 45, Sirius XM, damn nearly every single day.
Yeah.
All right. And it just, to me, showed that Will Smith has had so much versatility throughout his career. It's been 20 years since he dropped the album, the Lost and Found album. And now we have the new one based on a true story. Okay, Rave in the Wasteland. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give this man a standing ovation.
Absolutely.
He brought it home to the Hard Rock Philadelphia. Shout out to everybody at the Hard Rock Philadelphia. Y'all really do rock hard. Without further ado, let's give it up to the man of the hour, the one and only, the icon himself. Give it up for Will Smith! Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Hey.
Where Philly at? Where Philly at? Where Philly at? Where Philly at? Say make money. Make money.
Make money.
Oh.
Everybody give it up for Will Smith,
Philly in the
man.
building.
Yo, you see James Poyser over there, Will?
James,
put your-
where's James? Ah!
Y'all know-
Boys are in the house.
Okay, Poyser, as you know, with the Roots crew. You know.
Roots in the house.
Producer extraordinaire.
James Poyser.
I met him with Access Music Group. Right.
Yeah.
James, put your hand in the air
There
right
you go. There you go.
Okay, we got J Period on the turntables over there. Salute
J
to J
Period.
Period.
That's right.
All right, man. Let's get
We got my mom and my sisters in the house. My mom and my nieces. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Where Big Horse at? We got
Yeah,
Big.
yeah, no, my sister all the way up close. She can't sit down when brand new funk come on.
That's right.
That's her song too, Will.
That's my sister
that
right
right
there.
there?
That's Ellen.
What's
that's
up, Ellen? How you doing,
And that's my other
sis?
sister, Pam.
Okay.
Pam,
Sitting
what up,
down
Pam?
behind her.
I met Pam. She had a glass
Yeah.
of water in her hand earlier.
Yeah,
right?
brand new funk kept my sister in trouble, my younger sister, because
Okay.
she was too young to be at the parties when me and Jeff was out. But she was making her way in there.
Come on.
She was, I was like, Ellen, you are 15. You can't come in here.
And she made it in, right? Man, look at all these people that came out for you, man.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Philly. Thank you, Philly. That's right.
All right.
Oh, man, bringing it home.
Yeah,
bringing
man.
it
Let's have
home.
a seat, man. Relax yourself, Will.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, man. I was wondering what kind of sneakers you gonna wear.
Oh, well, we keeping it calm. We keeping it calm.
Yeah, I
tonight. Just
noticed
a little
that.
something.
I noticed that. People who got the most money, they keep it the calmest, right? Keep it. I brought my best jacket out for you, Will. I'm still struggling, Will. You know, it's interesting to hear you get on the stage and then start rocking the crowd like that.
Yeah, man.
And being in Philly, man, I used to come out to Philly in the late 80s and in the early 90s, and Tap Money used to take me around at that time. And all people used to talk about is how you used to rock house parties.
Yeah, no, that was our thing. Me and Jeff, house parties. We met at a house party on my block. It was a girl named Judy Stewart. And it was Judy Stewart. It was Judy's birthday, and I had DJ'd her party like 3 years in a row. And I noticed her birthday was coming, and she didn't call me. And I was like, "What's good? I wonder what's happening." And then I found out that this dude from Southwest named DJ Jazzy Jeff, she had heard this dude and she like picked him over me. So I actually went to the party to smash on Jeff.
What? Really?
I went to the party to smash on him. And like I went a little bit early and I was like looking at, he was like, Jeff, he had like glasses and like a Band-Aid on his scratching finger. I was like, who's this dude? And it's like, I had my name on my pants and like, he didn't have his name nowhere. I was like, how people gonna know who he is? You know, and he was like, just totally calm and real, just like nerd scientist looking. I was like, I'm gonna kill this dude tonight. And then his rapper didn't show up. So at the time, he had a guy named MC Ice. And Ice didn't show up. And I had a beatbox. Ready Rock C was my beatbox. And Ready Rock C was late, and Ice didn't show up. So me and Jeff were in the party for a couple hours, so he didn't have an MC. And he didn't talk. Like, you know, Jeff, like, literally, like, 4 years ago started talking. So, right? But what he would do on them turntables is like, Jeff was, like, inventing this stuff. So it was like, you know, the first time I saw a transformer scratch, I'm like, what is this dude doing on the turntables, right? So I rocked, and we just really, is that first night from one night performing together, and we've been together ever since. Yeah,
Wow.
So,
Come on, that's how it happens. You just never know.
Yeah.
So Jeff chose you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he would not. You know, Jeff was one of them dudes. We were talking. I wrote my book a couple of years ago, so I was going through my ideas and, you know, the things I wanted to write about, and I remembered, and I was trying to think. I don't have an image of Jazzy Jeff in his mother's house. We used to practice in his mother's basement, and I don't have an image of him. I can't even picture him ever anywhere but standing in front of his turntables. I'm trying to think of one time I saw Jeff in his house not standing in front of his turntables. And he would literally for 14 hours a day be on his turntables. I don't have a picture of him in his kitchen getting something to eat, like a drink, nothing. Like he just stood at those turntables. And he taught me work ethic. Like, you know, I mean, I came with mine, but nothing like that.
Yeah, Jeff, give it up for Jazzy. Jeff,
Yeah.
man.
Jazzy.
When I think about those times, and I think about where we are at 2025, what kind of outlets did people in Philadelphia have to really promote? You had the house parties. Y'all had Greek picnics too, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Talk
Yeah.
about that. So you used to rock
Oh
the Greek
man,
picnic.
no, we don't talk about that no more.
Oh, okay.
Greek picnic. Oh man. That's when you just made sure you were just trying to not get arrested. If you could get through Greek without getting arrested, it was a good Greek picnic weekend, right? Nah, you know, but it was a really great time that people would come together in hip hop because everything was new, right? It's hard to even imagine today like that there was no hip hop, right? That on television, like it didn't exist on television, and barely. Where's Lady B and Mimi are here? Like, yeah, Lady B and Mimi was the like. There was like the oh, there they go.
Stand up. Legend.
He said, stand up.
Legendary.
Mimi and Lady B. Yeah, they were like, there you go.
Legendary.
Mimi, legend. Yeah, love you, baby. Yeah, Mimi almost got fired playing our music. Yo, listen, they was like, hey, get that hippity hop over there.
What song? What song was it?
What's that? Oh, no, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble was the first one.
Right.
Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble was our first record. And you know, me and B was like, you know, B was at what, HAT, right? B was at HAT stuff. At 99. And, you know, Mimi at DAS, you know. B had a little bit more freedom at HAT, you know, but Lady B and Mimi really like launched hip hop in Philly, and it was like a fight to get hip hop on the radio. And you know, during that times you would go places and the radio stations, like their call would be more music, no rap. Right, like there was like a real energy against rap music being on the radio, you know. So when you had people that were like really willing to, you know, go up against the establishment to start playing rap, it was really helpful. You know, our careers launched behind B and Mimi.
Yo, get that around. Women in hip hop.
Yeah.
Will, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Like women in hip hop.
Yeah.
Here in Philadelphia kicked
Philly,
it off.
yeah.
And I know them, and they're always nice to me. I love y'all. You know, because I got a chance for a time period. My partner, King Tech, and I got a chance to be syndicated on Power 99 when Helen Little was there and Kobe Cole.
Kobe
the
Cole.
legends were there.
Yeah.
And I remember coming out here to Philly going, wow, man, people just bleed hip-hop.
Yes,
Right?
that's real.
Yeah.
B and Mimi were 10 years before that. B and Mimi were doing it before that, you know. Yeah. Yeah, it was there you go.
Wow. How hard was it, though? You know, all of us seem like we have to leave our hometown to go get it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
to leave the Bay to go get it.
Yeah.
You know, Too Short left the Bay. He had to go get it.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
You at some point had to leave Philly to
Yeah.
go get it.
Yeah.
How hard or how scary was that for you at that time?
You know, I think that is really a part of the heroic journey that everybody has to make. Like, you must venture out of your comfort zone, right? You have to leave. You take, you know, the seed was born in this space and it got nurtured, and now in order to like really break it and grow, you have to venture out into the world, and you have to, you know, test the things that you learned and unlearn some of the things you learned. But I think it is critical to venture out, you know, to go and see and look around and to grow whatever the origins of those seeds were.
Yeah. So what made you grow? What pushes you more then? Was it hip hop? Was it television? Or was it film? Which one stretches you more?
So I think really at the core of it all, like I'm a storyteller. I'm a storyteller and I'm an entertainer, right? Like I like to make people feel, right? So the source of that for me is a story, right? So what, even my music, you know, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, and you know, even brand new funk, I'm a storyteller. It was kind of an accident the way that it happened. One day I was rapping and on the beat, Jeff was backing me up, and all of a sudden he brought in a cut and I dropped my microphone and said, "What the? Hold up, Jeff, wait a minute, play it." He just smiled and said,
Yeah, deaf ain't it?
I'm there. I was there. I was like, is he gonna be there? Is he gonna be there for me?
I got your back, man. I got your back. It'll take me on the road.
Yeah, right. So, but it's like the thing was that I was always telling a story. So at the core, I'm a storyteller that likes to entertain, and then that developed into, because my lyrics were stories, then when when videos started, it demanded a performance. It wasn't just rapping. I had to act it out because it's a story, right? You know, your Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, Parents Just Don't Understand, Charlie Mack, First Out the Limo, right? It's all, I Think I Can Beat Mike Tyson. It was always theatrical. So then when I moved into television, it was difficult, but it was a natural progression for me. That's what Quincy Jones saw. He had seen from my music that, oh, that's acting, you know. And then, you know, he tapped me for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then it was just the natural progression for me. So at the core, it's telling a story that keeps people riveted.
And hence, we have the title of your album.
Yeah.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
Rave in the Wasteland, right?
Yes, yeah.
Based on a true story. When I hear that title, for me, it eliminates the actor.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, the film person, you know, and it gets straight to the poet, the MC.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I listen to this project, I hear Will Smith, the MC.
Yeah, for sure.
The poet. What was the circumstances, the environment surrounding this project that makes it so different than the ones in recent, well, not recent past.
Yeah,
but in the
right,
past?
yeah.
You know, did you have any distractions while making this project?
No, so you know, so what happened? I really, you know, the last couple of years, I really went internal, you know, and I did some deep, like, inward searching and really isolation. You know, I've spent more time by myself in the past 3 years than ever in my life, and I got in touch with what I call the despicable prisoners, right? The parts of myself that I necessarily didn't want people to see. You know, there were aspects of Will Smith that were the Instagram imagery. You know, it's like the best parts, the parts that smile all the time, happy all the time, you know, hardworking, oh, you know, that certain constellation of characteristics that I wanted to share with the world. And then there were those other ones, you know, that I pushed down. And the last 3 years, I just really just took a good look and was just deeply honest and eye to eye and nose to nose with, you know, things like fear, you know, things like anger and sadness and confusion, you know. So I really like just took a good look at myself and decided not to run. I decided not to medicate, decided not to avoid. I'm gonna be here with these feelings. And then something magical happened. Like, if I can describe, if you can imagine, like, you know, that I had shoved anger down, right? And then when it was up, and then when I welcomed it up, it's like there was a hole under the anger that opened up, that was all of these great, abundant assets. Like poetry started coming out and creativity started coming out, and it was like a geyser of, new energy. And all of a sudden, I could rap the way I always wanted to, right? And it was like by cutting those parts off that I thought of as parts of myself that I didn't like, or parts of myself that, didn't represent my family properly, and parts that I thought, y'all wouldn't like me if y'all knew I was like that. As soon as I embraced it and allowed myself to be it all, this crazy wave of new creativity hit me, new ideas, saying things that I normally wouldn't have said before in a way I normally wouldn't have said it, right? And then I got brand new. I got a whole new creative energy, and it's even an exploration for me. Like I go in the booth sometimes, I don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
You coming off the top of the head, Will?
Well, not tonight.
Let's do that.
He said he know you, Sway.
Listen, I know.
He know you.
Saw that look in your eyes.
Hey, last time,
yeah.
we set it off, bro.
Yeah.
We set it off. What I think of has been 20 years since Lost and Found, right?
Yeah.
And you look at that album cover, and you're standing, kind of downtrodden. Your head is down. I can't tell what you're thinking, if you're confident or not. And you're under this intersection of West Philly and Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what that was supposed to give. But then when you look at this cover, you're pretty much wearing the same outfit, if not a similar outfit. Your head is high in the sky.
Yeah.
You're looking confident now. You got the West Philly tilt on your hat.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a gang thing or nothing, but I'm not
no gang.
not a gang. Okay,
No
great.
gangs, no gang affiliation.
No gang affiliation.
No gang
Okay, well, I'm
affiliation.
glad. Okay,
Yeah.
good. And
We fight everybody in Philly.
you just fight everybody. No one's exempt.
We don't segregate it.
Right?
No gangs.
Yeah, I want to know what happened between those two covers.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, man.
Yeah, it was such a transformative period for me, man. To really take a good look and cultivate the courage to be me, And it's like just to be brave enough to be me as I am, and who likes it can like it, Yeah. So yeah, it was an endeavor of deep reflection and deep personal honesty, and coming out of the other end with a superpower of confidence and certainty and purpose and clarity. It's really the best time in my life right now.
I listened to the album. Yeah, that's dope. I listened to the album 3 times in the past 48 hours.
Wow.
And this last ride down here from Jersey, I just started writing, and I said, "The Reverend, a.k.a. Will the Messenger, life issues for every genre."
Yeah.
That's what I wrote.
Wow.
And because to me, this messenger, the Reverend that comes on, he's setting the tone.
Yeah.
He's letting everybody know. But then as I listened to the music, I was like, this almost sounds, did Will just do a country record?
Yeah.
Did he just do a this?
Yeah.
Is he doing Afro beats?
Yeah.
Is this or this? And it just touched every genre, but the issues, the things that you were talking about, and then how you came out at the end, it was just absolutely
the work of art.
The work of art at the end. One of my favorite songs, The Work of Art. I put that up there now with Summertime and just the two of us. And now The Work of Art. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So I don't know if you're playing the messenger in this, but what was the concept going in?
So the thing, why I wanted to use the Reverend, and that's there's a character I do on the album. It's the Reverend, and so because it's comedy and it's fun, the Reverend gets to say things that would sound preachy if I said it, right? So, I created this character, and I play a couple of characters throughout the thing. But, the first time the Reverend makes an appearance, I grew up in the church. So I grew up Resurrection Baptist Church. Resurrection Baptist Church. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I grew up in the church, so I always loved how the Holy Ghost would hit, and how Reverend West was the he ran the choir, so he played the piano and the choir, and Reverend West would have a red suit on with red gazelles, red shoes, he was like, and he would flip that room, and I just wanted to be able to do that, like that energy where people just let go, in positivity and joy, right? So the part of going to the Reverend is touching on that a little bit. But the first one, the Reverend says, I'm doing an album, it's called Based on a True Story, and normally you would say volume 1. I'm calling it season 1 because I'm doing it more like a TV show. So I'm calling the songs episodes because they have full themes and ideas to them. So season 1 is called Rave in the Wasteland. And Rave in the Wasteland, the idea, then one of the things that the Reverend says is he talks about, now when I say wasteland, I'm not talking about some barren desert in some foreign land. No. I'm talking about that interior wasteland, that place inside where we are most terrified, that place inside where we least trust God. So it's like to be able to do it in a character. And the concept of raving in the wasteland is, one of the things that I learned is how we think about the hard time increases or decreases the weight of the hard time, right? The energy the hard time comes, and hard times come to everybody. There ain't nobody in here that's not having a hard time. And now you can either and fall and collapse and make it worse, or you can stand up in a place of faith and joy, and you can face your curriculum, and it's like the rave in the wasteland is learning for me to celebrate when the difficulty comes. It's like, yes, life, I trust you. Let's go. This is the thing I'm supposed to learn today. I'm here for it.
So in the work of art, that line, it stuck with me. You said everybody wants to be a lion until it's time to do lion shit.
Yeah.
Is that where?
That's part of that. That's part of that concept.
Got it.
Everybody want to be a lion until it's time to do lion shit. And it's like, life is, stuff, mommy. Sorry. Until it's time to do lion stuff.
Will said mommy, yo. Man, I love that.
But yeah, so it's like, there is the attitude toward the difficulty actually affects the level of the difficulty, and there are difficult times that we are all going to have to face. There's nobody in here that's not going through something, and it's like the highest thing we can do. The song before Work of Art is called You Can Make It. Yeah. And I like to say, just everybody right now, tune in to the people around you. And everybody, you can do this at home also. Tune in to whoever's around you and recognize that they're going through something that they haven't said to you. Everybody is going through something, and the highest thing that we can do for each other is say, hey, I don't know what it is. I don't need to know what it is. What I do know is you can make it.
You can make it.
You can make it.
Give it up for Will Smith, man.
Yeah.
Let's play some music, Will.
Let's play some music.
Let's play Work of Art.
Work of Art. Yeah, we start with Work of Art.
Okay, let's do it, man. This is Will Smith's Work of Art.
Will Smith's Based on a True Story album listening playback with Sway and Heather B.
I'm a work of art.
Come on, baby, look at me.
Wait, you still trying to go on tour?
I'm
Yeah.
auditioning.
That's all. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
I'm auditioning.
Yeah, you got the serious face and everything.
I'm a work of art.
Yeah. You are in.
Thank you, Will. You said it from your family, brother.
Yeah.
Couple things. One of the things I appreciate about you is your ability to be open enough to work with other artists and younger artists.
Yeah.
You know, good friend of mine, Simba from the Bay.
Simba, that's my dude. Yeah.
guy.
Simba is the truth.
Man, and
Yeah.
he speaks so
Simba.
highly of you.
Yeah.
Russ, give Russ a round of applause.
Russ on
This
that
man
one, yeah,
Evolution has been incredible.
Yeah.
What your own son?
That's
you know,
that's Jaden on the hook right there.
Jaden on the hook.
Yeah.
Sky Zoo.
It's, yes, that's right. Okay, dang, okay, you paying attention.
Come on, Will.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm hip hop too, bro. Joyner Lucas.
Joyner Lucas, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
how do you decide what energy works for you when working with another artist?
So what happens? I got another track with Big Sean, and there are people that I'll have a meeting with, or you run into somebody somewhere, and there are people who are like on the path, right? And it's like when I had one conversation with Russ, the same thing happened with Big Sean. One conversation, and it's like, there are people who have made the first phase of discovery, and it's people who realize what they're looking for is not outside. And that's the thing. And I'm looking when I'm talking to somebody, and it's like Big Sean, and like there's a really difficult period when you realize sex, money, power, a partner, no matter how great they are not gonna fill the void, And there's people that realize that, and it's like, when I looked at Big Sean and we were talking, I was like, because I see in his eyes, he was like, he got it. We talked about it. Russ, definitely, And there's a certain amount of life experience that people have had, and they're like, oh no, if I can't make enough money to be happy, if I can't have enough sex to be happy, if there's nothing out here that I can do to be happy, then what is it? And what happens is you just start hoping to God that God's there. You start, but it's a really, fortunately and unfortunately, it's an inward journey where you really just start cleaning up your interior castle, and can you make your inner world enough for you to be happy? Can you be with you and be happy and not need all the other stuff? So it's really, a lot of this music is about that time where I had to, suffer the detox of my addiction to external validation, and suffer, even to the need for love. It's like I have people around me that love me deeply. It's just they can't love me enough if I don't like me. It's like it's a bottomless pit. It's like I gotta love me fully minus everything, and that's been the journey. Am I trying to run away from my own mind? Is my mind so messy that I can't even sit by myself for 20 minutes without needing a distraction? So it was like that process.
What does that mean when we see, let's just, if you step out of yourself, someone who's as accomplished as you are and been on the planet over 5 decades, it's still,
right?
Don't have that stability. That's scary for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we look up to certain people and you figure they got it all together, but when I listen to how you speak,
yeah,
in many cases, it seemed like you worse off than a lot of the people that look up to you.
Yeah, no, listen. Once you know, it's like, that's why we love The Matrix. We don't know for sure, but that's why we love The Matrix, when like Neo has his whole perception of the material world stolen, and he got to put it together again. outside the matrix, that's really what that's what it is when you realize nobody can love you enough for you to love yourself. You can't make enough money to not, feel weak or scared, and you can't have enough guns to feel secure. And it's like when you realize there's nothing out there and the whole game is interior, it is terrible. that first realization it's a really terrible thing, but then the process, I promise you all, the interior promised land is real. It is real. Like, you can stabilize yourself in the difficulty and the brutality and cruelty of this world, and you can find a space where you become light and love in all situations. And that's the highest place. Love coming out of you. When you can get love coming out of you versus trying to extract it from everything and everybody vampirically that you come in contact with.
Thank you, Will. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I look at the Beautiful Scars video.
Yes.
And you bring up Neo in The Matrix a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's out of regret that you didn't pick the role and lost out on billions of dollars.
That was a hurt piece. That was a hurt piece, right? I didn't get it when they pitched me The Matrix. I didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
No, look, they didn't, because
they didn't pitch it right?
The Wachowski brothers, they pitched it. And this was my pitch for this is what they said to me. Bro, so we're gonna invent these cameras, right? And what's gonna happen is you'll be able to jump, but like freeze. And then the camera goes around while you're jumping, frozen. And then you'll move again. It's gonna be crazy. I was like, I'm making Wild Wild West. And then I saw it, I was like, you jump and you freeze! It was like, that was the right pitch. Oh man, it was terrible. It was terrible.
But when that happens, what do you chalk that to? Like,
Listen, I pick good most of the time. Yeah. But yeah, I missed that one hard. That's the biggest one. Yeah. That's the biggest one I missed. I missed that one. But also, when you look at a movie, you can't just change the actors and it be the same thing. Right. So it was like, no, they were perfect. So it was going to be me, and Val Kilmer was going to be Morpheus. Oh. Right? So then that would have changed Trinity and all. It would have been a mess. It's good the way it is.
Okay, great.
That's what I'm going to tell myself.
Yeah. It's good, man.
That's how I keep my interior castle clean.
Okay.
Is there a song then that you wish you would have made, or maybe a song that you wish you wouldn't have released?
Man, that's funny. I generally don't do regret. Right, I'm a future thinker, right? So the way that I keep myself sane is okay. No, it's fine. That's cool. What's now? But tomorrow, I can't wait. What we gonna do over there? You know. So I generally I don't look back at all. So it is. I'm much more anxiety for the future than I am regret for the past. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to get into another song. This is a playback, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to go into You Can Make It. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, it's your first #1 since Getting Jiggy with It.
Yes,
right?
It was a #1 gospel record. You Can Make It.
Gospel record.
I was like, yo.
Is it a gospel record too?
Yeah, and the thing is, I wasn't even, so with this album, I told myself no genre. I'm not, so you were saying there's a record that has a little a country feel on there, a little really hard hip hop, and there's Afro beats, and right. So I told myself no genre. I just want to make whatever comes out, and You Can Make It was one of those. It just felt like it needed Sunday service. So Jason with Sunday Service came out, he listened to it, loved it, and he just, he blessed it with that flavor.
Let's take a listen to it right now.
Bill Smith's Based on a True Story album listening playback with Sway and Heather B.
Yeah.
That sound good right there, right? That sound good to y'all?
Yeah. It reminds me, you know, when you graduate from like high school or middle school, like the big graduation song. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's encouraging.
Yeah, man.
We have Hard Rock Philadelphia. Give them a big round of applause.
Yeah, shout out to Hard Rock. Shout out to Hard Rock for putting this together for us. Thank you.
Yes, Creative Control is in the building. That's my team. I see Cootie with the camera over there. My man Chance over here. Kenny Cool. Shari from ABC News is in the building right here in Philadelphia.
That's right.
We see you, Shaheem Reed, legendary hip-hop journalist right here.
In the
we
building.
got Complexes in here. We got a lot of folks that came out. J1, my Sirius XM staff.
Yep.
I'm just trying to shout people out, Will, to say that I did it while you were sitting right
Yeah.
Okay. We got Kango's sons here from UTFO.
Oh, that's right, Kango.
Bless my brother. Rest in power to Kango from UTFO.
That's right, that's
got
right.
His son right here. Okay, cool. I'll keep it moving. All right. I want to talk about Bulletproof because I know our time is, getting limited with the live broadcast portion of this, but I want people to hear this. And I want to read back some of the lyrics in the chorus.
Yep.
Disloyalty to me is like robbery.
Yep.
Because when I love you, it's like you hit the lottery. I want to know, what is it like being in Will Smith's circle of love and trust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's like that. That is the lyrics of Bulletproof. It's funny. It's like I'm talking about being bulletproof, but it's a spiritual bulletproof, right? It's the idea that you're not actually touchable by people's words. It's that they're actually not getting anywhere near you. And it's like that was I did a lot of Matrix in my mind, but that idea of Neo, being bulletproof at the end is when you realize it's not. You got to accept it for it to hurt you, right? You got to let it hurt you. So that the concept of being bulletproof. The lines before that, was you pick a finger, pick one, any finger to describe me. They all apply to me. Whatever finger you pick, don't lie to me. Because if we friends, you flip and do something fly to me, my body might stay, but you can say goodbye to me. Yeah, because so then that's the disloyalty to me.
Will got bars, y'all. Hey, bro. I've been campaigning for you. They have these conversations about these GOAT conversations and all this stuff. I said, why nobody mentions Will as much?
This is really the first. I do.
You do?
So here's the thing. I never really. This is the first time in my life where I'm able to devote the time and energy to every single line, making sure every single line is exactly what I want to say. And because I've opened myself up to speak from different parts of myself, there's more color in the things that I even allow myself to say, So it's like when before I started, I made 2 phone calls. I talked to Jay and I talked to Kendrick, and I was like, "Hey, I want to get back in music," and it was like, "What's the advice?" And Jay said, like, "Don't fake your story." He was like, "You gotta say what's true for you." And he said, you'll be looking at the younger rappers and you want that to be true for you, but you don't live like that. It was like, be true to your story. Tell your story. And that's where I got the based on a true story from Jay. And Kendrick, he paused. He said, man, just say that shit you always been fucking scared to say.
Sorry, mommy. You gotta say sorry, Will. You gotta say sorry.
I mean, that's Kendrick said that, mommy. I didn't say that.
They said the same thing.
Yes, basically the same thing. And it was like, be honest. Be honest. And it was like, that was, it was scary, right? To just say, right? And that's the thing with genre. Make the record you want to make. Don't try to make the record that you think people will like you for. Like, make the one that's authentic.
So in the intro of the album, when you're doing this collage of fans and listeners, they just dissing you. They saying you're whack.
The opening of the album is based on the barbershop scene from Coming to America.
Yeah.
So the opening line of the whole album is the barber. I'm playing 3 of the characters. Jeff is playing 1, and B. Simone is playing 1. So I'm a bunch of the characters. And the first line of the album is, Will Smith is canceled. Right? So I do the barber, but it's in rap verse with all of the characters talking to each other.
Dope.
So yeah.
You hit everything that people have said about you in the last 3 years, and to me that kind of falls in line with what you were saying about Bulletproof.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and Bulletproof. I really love that one. The hook is my favorite couple lines of Bulletproof. Mm-hmm. It's the hook. Jack Ross is singing. He's a dude. I found him on Instagram. His voice is crazy. You'll hear it in a second. But the hook is, I got the keys to heaven, but I earned them things in hell. I'll give my life for something, but my soul just ain't for sale. I'm bulletproof, So it's like I just said everything exactly the way I wanted to say it on this album.
Will Smith, y'all. Freedom right there, brother.
Yeah.
Will, this has nothing to do with the album, but what makes a person a GOAT in your description? What makes a GOAT in rap?
I think that the big thing for me, the people that I think of across all walks of life, you can't be a GOAT in my mind until you've been on your knee with no energy to get up. Until you had to figure out how to get up from hell. Until you've had to look in the eyes of it being over. And then what did you do? Like when you've been to the edge of losing it all, and then how do you manage that? So to me, it's like that is the thing that makes somebody a GOAT, is that they've been to the edge of their sanity. They've been to the edge of loss, and they made their way back to patience and beauty and peace and love and kindness.
Let's give them a standing ovation. Give it up for the GOAT. Will Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Love you, brother. I love you, man. Let's play that Bulletproof. But before we do, I want to thank all of you for coming out today and making this a really special, right? Philly, man, represent, man.
Thank you.
All right, you want to say anything in closing, Will?
Just in closing, I was shaped in the streets of Philadelphia and West Philadelphia, born and raised. And the reason I wanted to come back and do this, and I just wanted to stand in Philly and say to people in Philly, everything is possible from this place, right? Everything is possible. James Poyser, The Roots, there are people in this room that came from the places that the kids in these streets are and have been to the top of what this world has to offer. Philly there's difficulty and there's brutality and there's pain just like everywhere in the world, but this place is open to everything and everything you possibly could dream. Take advantage of it.
Will Smith's Based on a True Story album listening playback with Sway and Heather B.